You were ready. You did the work. You planted the seeds, showed up with faith, and opened your heart to possibility. But still, the door stayed shut. The answer didn't come. The breakthrough you hoped for slipped further into the distance, and in that silence, it's easy to wonder, did I miss my moment? Has the divine forgotten me? But what if the delay isn't a denial? What if it's a disguise for preparation? What if you're not being held back, but being held together? Because time doesn't just pass in delays, it perfects. Sometimes life slows us down when all we want is to move forward. We plead for acceleration, faster results, quicker answers, immediate victories. But there's a divine intelligence in the delay. It's not punishment, it's preservation. When life pauses us, it's often protecting something sacred within us, just as a tree deepens its roots before it reaches toward the sky. We're being grounded for the weight of what's coming. Delay is not avoidance. The workshop of transformation. It strips away the noise, the illusion of speed equaling success, and it draws us inward where the real work begins. The kind of work that builds unshakable character, silent resolve, and sacred wisdom. Think of the caterpillar. Its metamorphosis happens not in the spotlight, but in the shadows inside a cocoon. Hidden from sight, every moment in the dark is sculpting wings that have never flown. Those wings are not grown in the rush of daylight, but in the quiet patience of process. So too, your delay is not wasted time, it's wing-making time. You may not see the evidence just yet. You may feel stuck, unseen, even forgotten. But what's happening beneath the surface is more potent than you can imagine. It's not the time to shrink, it's the time to trust. Trust that the soil is doing its work. Trust that your roots are growing deep enough to carry your future without collapsing. Under it, different traditions echo this truth in their own way. In Christianity, waiting is often seen as a divine invitation to draw closer to God. In Islam, patience during delays is regarded as an act of faith. Hinduism teaches that timing is part of Dharma, the sacred rhythm that governs all things. The Quran reminds us that with every hardship comes ease, not instant ease, but ease that emerges through the delay. These sacred teachings don't glorify struggle. They illuminate the quiet power found in trusting the timing. The world may measure progress in fast wins and overnight results, but heaven sees through a different lens. It sees your tears when things stall. It sees your strength when you choose not to quit. It celebrates every small act of faith when you show up in the unknown, believing that unseen progress is still progress. So don't curse the delay. Let it become your teacher. Let it soften your impatience and strengthen your soul. When you finally rise, may it be with roots so deep that no storm can shake you. Because you didn't just wait, you grew. And when the bloom comes, you won't just appear, you'll endure. Not because you rushed through the waiting, but because you honored it. That's what depth gives you, and it's what speed could never offer. In the midst of our longing, we often ask, why not now? Why the silence, the pause, the endless holding pattern? But if we listen deeply, not with anxious ears, but with the quiet heart of trust, we begin to understand that delay is not denial. It is precision. A sacred orchestration by a wisdom far greater than our own. The Quran says that delay comes, not from neglect, but from divine wisdom. A wisdom that knows what your soul is not yet ready to carry. Just like a seed must wait for the right season to break open, so must our dreams be timed with care for our protection, for our growth, for our becoming. In Christianity, the waiting is not wasted. It is often where the most profound shaping happens, before the promise is fulfilled. The character is tested, stretched, and refined. Because without transformation, we risk mishandling the very thing we begged for. it's in the quiet. Unseen places that the roots of endurance are formed, where patience becomes strength and surrender becomes strategy. As taught in Hinduism, time itself is not an enemy. It is sacred. Color is the force that ranges all things in alignment with the highest good. What feels delayed to you may simply be undergoing divine realignment, so that when it arrives in perfection, not chaos. What is delayed is not denied. It is being delivered on divine schedule, so across sacred traditions, each with its own rhythm, language, and lens, the message remains strikingly clear. We are not called to rush the river, but to trust its current, because this current knows the path. It knows how fast your heart can handle change. It knows what must fall away before you can rise. And it knows how to deliver you not just to a destination, but to a version of yourself that's ready to receive it. Sometimes we stretch our hands wide open in prayer, yet wonder why they return empty. But heaven is not watching our hands. It is watching our soul. And what is meant for you, truly meant, will never miss you. It will come when your soul is strong enough to hold it without being crushed under its weight. It will come not just to fulfill you, but to unfold you. So wait not with fear, but with reverence. Know that you're not being overlooked. You're being prepared, and trust that divine timing isn't careless. It is careful, intentional, and full of mercy. You're not behind. You're being aligned, and what's ahead is worth every moment of becoming. In a culture that celebrates urgency and glorifies instant results, waiting can feel like the silent thief of momentum. But the truth is, waiting is not where progress dies, it's where it's reforged. It is not passive, it is powerful. Waiting is where a different kind of work takes place, not the loud kind, not the showy kind, but the inner kind that changes everything. Delays are not an invitation to despair. They are an invitation to participate differently. When the world says produce, waiting says prepare. When others rush, waiting asks you to root. Because while you may not be able to speed up the arrival of your moment, you can shape the strength you'll carry into it. This is your time to tend to the inner garden, the quiet soil of your soul that no one sees. To pull the weeds of doubt, to water hope, to soften the corners hardened by disappointment. This is where vision is refined not by pressure, but by perspective. When you're forced to pause, you begin to see not just what you want, but why you want it, and who you must become to hold it with integrity. In Sikhism, divine delay is seen not as a barrier, but as a bridge, a sacred passage, aligning your spirit with divine will. In this view, delay becomes a gift, a space to attune yourself to something bigger, something that ensures that when your time comes, it is not rushed or reckless, but deeply right. Buddhism teaches us that mindful waiting dissolves attachment, that in stillness, wisdom rises. You begin to release the need to control every outcome, and instead learn to welcome clarity without force. What a shift that is, not to abandon desire, but to anchor it in trust, because from that stillness emerges not passivity, but power, the kind of power that's not reactive but resilient. So, don't just mark the days on a calendar, let the days mark you. Let them carve deeper wells of patience, stronger muscles of belief, and a quieter, steadier kind of faith. Because how you wait matters. It shapes what you carry into the moment that arrives. The world might only see when you step into your calling, but heaven sees how you built endurance while no one was watching. It sees how you chose hope when fear was easier, how you believed when you had every reason not to. And that kind of waiting, intentional, soul-deep waiting, means you won't just arrive. You'll be ready. You won't be gasping for air at the threshold of your breakthrough. You will walk through it already equipped, already aligned. already becoming the person who can hold the weight of the blessing, not because you rushed the process, but because you honored it. So keep showing up, keep growing quietly, keep trusting loud in your silence. You're not wasting time, you're being prepared in it. And when your moment comes, you won't just step into it, you'll rise from it fully built. If life feels paused, if doors seem slow to open, if you're stuck between desire and deliverance, breathe. The delay is not a denial. It's a sacred pause to deepen what quickness could never sustain. Because when the moment finally arrives, you won't just be ready for it, you will be worthy of it.